delighted to welcome Joanne Hession, founder Lift Ireland. Joanne is Executive Director of the Entrepreneurs Academy, which has trained over 30,000 people towards success. Joanne is passionate and efficient and effective in helping individuals and organisations achieve their potential through leadership training. In 2018, Joanne stepped away from her business to found Lift Ireland, a national leadership initiative that builds authentic leadership across the country at the kitchen table, in the classroom, clubhouse and boardroom. You're just missing the back garden, Joanne, but you're very welcome, and we look forward to hearing from you about leading Ireland's future together. Joanne is also experiencing connectivity issues, but we're working with Joanne at the moment to try and bring her back. Hopefully we'll have her back very quickly. Just a reminder about this afternoon's session. It's about economic forecasting and agile innovation. We've heard from Jim Power, lecturer Michael Smurford, Graduate School of Economics, UCD, and also Owen Laverty, Head of Enterprise Economics, Dunleary Rathdown County Council. I suppose the good news coming from Jim Power is that we're going to see modest economic growth in 2021, and we will be speaking to Jim at the end of this session, whenever that may be, and we'll also be speaking to Owen Laverty about the supports that the local enterprise office provide, and also about breakthrough innovation. I was speaking earlier just before I got cut off and brought the last speaker on, just in relation to the online sales at 29 million euro. I think we're okay now. Yes, I'm delighted to welcome back Joanne Hession from Lift Ireland. And Joanne, you're going to speak to us about leading Ireland's future together.
I am, Conor. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm absolutely delighted to be part of this great session that you have here. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Lift, and I'm going to talk to you about leadership. And you might think leadership is sort of a bit warm and fluffy and a bit fuzzy, but bear with me, because I've got a lot of good news about how we need to be paying attention to this, and more importantly, why we need to be paying attention to this. So the first thing is that let me ask three questions. First question is who here is a leader? Because I need to get us all on the same page about this. The second question is, well, what makes a really good leader? And the third question is, well, what difference does it make anyway? Because we like, why bother with leadership? That's a really important bit. Just to let the guys know that are organizing this, the clicker isn't moving forward for me on that. Perfect. Thanks a million. So the three questions: who's here is a leader? What makes a great leader? And why bother with leadership anyway? Why pay any attention to it when there is so much else to do? We're very busy at the moment. Our businesses are busy, and so on. And we are in very uncertain times. So the first question, who here is a leader? Now, before you start putting into the chat room or the question function and start putting up your hands or saying, well, Owen definitely is, and the other Owen and Jim and Conor and everybody involved, and Leanne and Val and everybody in the background, who here is a leader? Before you start doing that, let me tell you that I'm going to answer the question, because every single person in this room is a leader. Whether you are the positional leader, head of your organization, whether you are somebody who is just 1 or 2 weeks in the door of your organization, it doesn't matter. Every single person is a leader. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that if you've got people around you that are paying attention to what you're saying, if you've got colleagues, if you've got teammates, if you've got people in your workplace, people online, on Zoom, or that you're meeting at home, if you've got people that are paying attention to what you're saying, then you are leading them. And sometimes you're leading them well, and sometimes you're leading them not so well. And sometimes they're leading you, and sometimes you're leading them. So leadership, very much, there's an ebb and flow to leadership, but every single person in this virtual room is a leader, every single person. And the better we lead, the more positive influence and the more positive results and hard, tangible results we can get around us. And the second question then that I asked is, well, what makes a great leader? And someone once said to me that, well, you don't follow positions and titles, Joanne, you follow character. Character makes a great leader. A position or a title, so my position or title and somebody else's position or title, that might buy me a little bit of time with people. They might pay attention and follow me a little bit because of my position or title, but not for long, because it's who I am, it's my character that makes me a great leader. So if I'm listening and making sure that every single person that I meet I make them feel like they're worth 100% of my attention, even if it's only for a few minutes, then I'm leading well. That's a good character area. Or if I hold respect for every single individual, not just for those that I might agree with, not just for those that think the way that I do, or perhaps I find similar to myself. But if I hold respect for every single person, if I make sure that every single person knows that they have value and feels that they have value, then I am showing good leadership. And there are all kinds of other areas that are really important to make us great leaders. Look at these areas here. So we did research in 2018 and we asked the people of Ireland, if we're to become better leaders, in what areas do we need to actually build our leadership muscle? And Ireland said, well, we need more respect. We need more honesty and integrity. We need more competence, more dedication and determination and grit. We need more listening and better listening. We need more positive attitude. And we all know we need a lot of that at the moment. Jim, I think you did a great job with that earlier. It's not about being happy clappy about this stuff. It's about realizing that this is where we are now, but it's about taking a positive rather than a negative attitude about it. It's about accountability. It's about me being able to hold myself accountable, but also being able to hold other people accountable in a way that doesn't crush them, but instead does it with respect and with kindness. It's about empathy and understanding. And do you know what? Look, I'm a business graduate from a long time ago. I did accountancy. If you'd asked me years ago, would I be, doing some of this, what might be deemed to be softer stuff years ago, I'd have said, you've got to be joking. But actually, this stuff is the hard stuff. This is the really important stuff that often gets ignored. It's what builds our cultures in our organization, and it is extremely important. So, moving on to what makes not makes for a great leader, but why bother with leadership? We need to bother with it because this is so important. Culture is important. We had physical culture before. Now we've got online culture, and organizations are wondering, how do we build this connectivity? How do we build our culture now that we're online? This is really important. And it's important because if we pay attention to leadership, if I pay attention to how I lead, and if I look at upping my levels of how much respect I have, and my honesty and my integrity and all these other areas, because I guarantee I can get better, and so can everybody else as well. We can all up in these areas. More of this means a better society, but it also means better around our circle of influence. Everything gets better. Now, in addition to the 8 areas that Ireland identified 2 years ago, we've also added in 2 more areas that are very important in how we lead at the moment. One is resilience, and the other is innovation and adaptability. And sometimes when we think of innovation and adaptability, we think of seismic change. But actually, this is about small innovations. This is about small adapting. This is about my gym closed this morning and I now have no gym to go to. What small adaptations can be made so that I can still keep doing the exercise that I need to do over the next few weeks? That's what this is all about. Now, leadership is important because more of this means more listening. Now, if more listening may be listening to that colleague that really needs to be heard at the moment, more of this means more respect. Now, if we think about this, imagine if every person in our country not only knew that they had value, but felt that they had value. Every single person in our country, imagine if every single person felt that they had value. That's what good leadership does. That's what me lifting my leadership in my circle of influence and you doing the same does as well. This is why leadership is important. But for me, who did accountancy all those years ago and has moved into this whole area of leadership and thought, well, actually, it's the P&L, it's the money side. That's what's really important. The good news is that this is not Pollyanna stuff. This is good for society, but it's also good for business. Good leadership and good character is good for business. Fred Keel did research that he spent from 2007 to 2014 doing. It was published by Harvard in 2015, where it shows that a study of 120 CEOs, that the 5 leaders with the highest character score, those leaders who had the highest character score got the highest return on assets in their businesses. Really interesting as well that those leaders, they rated themselves, but their people also rated them in a huge range of character areas. Now, when they rated themselves, they actually rated themselves lower than everybody else had rated them. Interestingly, the guys and females and males that got the median character score and the lowest character score, they had rated themselves higher than other people had rated them, which is kind of interesting too. But this is important. Leadership is very important. Sometimes we push it aside and say it's not important, but it will give us better return in our business. And also it will help us with our cultures. Every single person in our business is a leader. We want every single person to be leading themselves well and to be leading around them well. And that's where Lift Ireland comes in. Because Lift stands for Leading Ireland's Future Together. Lift is an initiative that is aimed at increasing the level of positive leadership in Ireland. We're a not-for-profit organisation, and we're on a 10-year goal to get 10% of the population building its leadership. We're supported and partnered by Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown County Council, and Owen is a keen lifter there, as indeed our Fonovation in the district too. And Sandyford Business District is one of our partner organisations, and we are looking at lifting the businesses within the district, raising the level of leadership. This is no criticism of any positional leader. That's not what this is. This is about building our inner leadership muscle. That's what we are all about. So we're on a 10-year journey to get 10% of the population lifting its leadership. And we have it happening in all corners of the country, in all different kind of areas, all different kind of organizations. Lift won the Champion Leadership Program 2020 this year for being a leadership program within one of our partner organizations. Another, the finalists in the HR Champion Awards were AIB, the HSC, and the Prem Group. The Prem Group had only done Lift within their organization, and they won the HR Champion Award this year. It is really, really effective, the Lift program. It's not like any other training program. It's a process that we show you how to use. These are some of the organizations that are currently partnered with Lift. Now, in addition to these organizations, we have Fonovation in Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown in this district. We have Covalent in this district, one of CPL's biggest divisions. We have Enterprise Solutions, a small business in the area, all using Lift to build their leadership within their people. We also, as an organization, help other organizations that can't normally afford any kind of leadership training or anything like that. So we have what we call a Robin Hood model, where organizations that can afford to take part with us give us a financial contribution. And those organizations that can't, they are still welcome and can still take part. So any organization can take part in Lift, whether you're a residential centre like New Hope that deals with addicts and doesn't have the funding, or any organization can take part. Lift is also working with the schools around the country. We've over 4,000 transition year students that are building their leadership muscle, looking at how to become more resilient, how to have a more positive attitude, how to build their listening skills. These are all so vital for our young people and for us at the moment. So we have, in our first year, we took one pilot school. It was Confi College in Leitslip. Last year, we took 28 schools, and this year, we're taking 100 secondary schools and getting their transition years to build their leadership. We've also partnered with some of the universities. That means that we're building leadership when they're 16, and we're building it again when they hit 19 or 20. And then when they come into our organizations, they will be building it again. They will have a really good understanding of what good leadership is. It's about who we are on the inside, and it's really vitally important for our country. This is the impact of Lift. A few little stats on it. Impact is really important. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business person. Set up my own business when I was 27. I have 2 businesses. They're working well. I stood out of those to really push Lift and drive Lift and have a team that run those businesses. And you know, I'm not doing it just for the fun of it. It's really important that we get impact. So how do we know that Lift is actually working? So there's 100% of people that say that Lift is an important way or an effective way to look at these areas. But the figure I'm really interested in is that figure that's over 80% there. And to be honest, if it was over 40% or 30%, I'd be really happy with that. 89% of people that are using the Lift process are saying that they can attribute positive behavior change because of going through the Lift process. It is a muscle building, a character building, leadership character building process. And over 80% of people going through it are citing examples of where their behavior is changing. And that is what we are really interested in, because this stuff that is often seen as the soft stuff, and I said earlier, is the hard stuff. It is the hard stuff. It is hard to get behavior change happening. So it's fantastic that we're starting to see these results at such an early stage. We're only just into the start of year 3 with what we're doing. So you might push me on a slide there, Val, if you're there. Super. So Sandyford Business District is the first district in the country, the first business district to partner with Lift, because they see how important it is for us to strengthen our cultures, for us to enhance our cultures, for us to do everything that we can to make sure that we build trust, that we make sure we're wholly inclusive, that we build engagement, that we build connectivity in our businesses. This is really important. And Lift is a process to help with that. It is about realizing that it's not just about where we work. It's not just about the physical infrastructure. It's not just about the Lewis line, but it's about the environment that we create in our businesses. And Lift can really help it. Now, the good news is, especially for all of us that are business owners and in business, it's efficient. It's really easy. It's efficient. It takes 45 minutes a week. There's no prep. It's not like a learning program that you have to go in and study it afterwards. It's not like that at all. It's focused, it's reflective, it's timely, and it's time bound. So it's a bit like going to a gym session for building your leadership muscle. It is challenging. It can be done online or it can be done face to face. It's based on extremely good research and it has integrity at its core. And I would highly encourage you all to get involved in it. Now, the good news is, is that Sandyford Business District would like to invite 25 companies to be gifted free training by the Sandyford Business District to become ambassadors of Lift in Sandyford. So we will train 25 companies. We will train somebody from each of the 25 companies to bring Lift into your organization. And if you're interested in being one of those 25 that would like to lift your organization and be part of Lifting Ireland, then please email kim@liftireland.ie. My name is Joanne. So I'm Joanne at liftireland.ie if you've any questions at all. But if you'd like to become one of these 25 companies, please email kim@liftireland.ie. This is extremely important. It's a fantastic opportunity for businesses in the district. And thank you so much for enabling me to come along and talk about it today.